Oh, welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're still working on this John Deere A. I'm just getting ready to put a cotter pin in here. I'm going to fill this full of grease. And I wanted to show you here. I just took some of this cheap grease. This is the stuff that Tractor Supply sells around here. And I mixed it about a third 90 weight, 80-90 gear oil. And it was old gear oil. It wasn't the modern stuff. You know how the old stuff had a stronger smell. So anyway, I'll show you what this looks like. So what I did was I took this red grease that they have, and that right there is just enough oil. Like I say, there's 2 pumps of oil in there, about half a tube of grease. And that's what I like. If you put regular oil in there, it'll just run down. I didn't replace the cork that down inside of there. So I want something that will creep down the walls so that you don't cut a slot through it with your gears. This here will always move a little bit. It may not move as fast as what the gears move, but it will, you know, within 2 or 3 minutes, it will fill in everything. So it's always getting lubrication. So just wanted to show you that. You see how that kind of flows a little bit. Yeah, and that'll work right around in there. So that's what I do for lubrication. I'm not saying this is the right thing, but I'm just saying that's what I use. Yeah, I will go find my bolts. One thing I hate in life is 2 different style bolts. This one's had been like this for years, so it's like whatever. So we'll just give them a snug. Go find another screwdriver. Well, everybody, it's been a couple days. Got some stuff from Steiner. All looks good. So I said I was going to put silicone underneath that spindle down there. Well, I had to make a gasket. I just couldn't stand it. So I made a gasket. To make this joint here, all you do is put your hole set at an angle. You go on in through and then cut the sides with a razor blade. And that way it'll lock in. I'm not even going to put silicone on it. I'm just going to put it down there and put the bolts to it. I kind of cheated. This here's what is on the bottom of that spindle. This is the old one off of that. Well, when I cut that bottom of that front bolster off, this was down back in my junk pile. I went down and got it just so I'd have a pattern without taking that other stuff off. So anyway, yeah, we're all set to put that on. I'm going to do that off camera. And then we'll take those hubs that I got all cleaned up and we will start assembling. Well, I just put these in off camera. I used some of my old split races that I took out. Just turned them up and beat them in. Had to actually double this one up because it's in so deep. That's the only thing I've found that's going to be a little bit of a problem. That's supposed to be a press fit in there. Pretty sure the other one is going to be the same. No. Okay, we got a worn hub. Can't blame it on Steiner. Good? Okay. That actually makes me happy. I'd rather have it, be my problem than something of theirs. Yeah, I think I am going to try to find a piece of steel the exact same size as this. And if I can, I'm going to tap this over it and put it in the little lathe and knurl it. We'll see what I come up with for steel, if I can find a slug that just fits in that. So we've gone from a sloppy fit to a, well, there's still a little bit of clearance there. So I guess I'm going to get my mics out. Let's see how much is worn off this. Haven't decided yet whether red Loctite will handle that. But you got to be careful because you got a load of grease, a greased bearing in there first. So yeah, I made it grow a little bit, just a few thousandths, but not enough. The other option, well, I got all kinds of options, but I really hate to machine this out and put a sleeve in here. I wished I had another bearing, another hub. I'd take them races out and change it. I didn't realize this hub was frigged up. So I guess what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold off on this one. I'm going to pun here for a little while. I'm going to set this off the side. I'm going to load the bearings in that one because I know that one's good. I didn't realize this one was bad. Apparently the old one had gotten beat up enough. I might actually use that old one. That old one's got a little bit of a press fit. Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Well, it's been another day. I didn't work down here yesterday. But me and Carol had a blast yesterday. There we go. Go. She's tight. Now this one here, where it's split, you can bring it right out. Don't drive it in if you don't put a split in it first. So that side's in. Gonna do the same on this side, but so I got to tell you the story about yesterday. Me and Carol got up. Built all of our fires in the greenhouse and upstairs. And then I went to making homemade rolls, and we went to baking turkeys. And we had a fellow YouTuber, Bell's Farming. It's Molly and Shane. They both come over for dinner last night, and we had a blast. You talk about a couple of nice people. Shane on camera, he's kind of straight and to the point. He really is a pretty direct person anyway. But we had a fun time yesterday. I mean, we absolutely, me and Kel was laughing after they left. We had a blast with them. So yesterday kind of went to visiting all day, but I didn't mind it a bit. Sometimes you just need to take a deep breath and just relax and, you know, enjoy somebody's company, because we're pretty much loners. And the fact that they wanted to come over and have dinner with us, we had a blast. So if you haven't seen Bell's Farming yet, it's Bells Farming, Bell's Farming, and they're out of Auburn. They farm 500 acres, 500 and some acres. You know, we make a living here, but we're not a big farmer at all. I would call us a micro farm. You know, acre of crops and 4 greenhouses. The 4 greenhouses is a lot of work, but the acre of crops ain't nothing, you know, compared to most people. And these guys do 500. Granted, there's half a dozen people in the summer probably when they're doing corn, but they're hard workers. And if you want to see a good channel local to Maine, check out Bell's Farming. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to do this one the same. Just drive it in with the other race. I got the small race. I got a split one here too. When I actually hang these up, they get hung up on a nail. Those I already had split. That's why I got some here, and I got another one over here that's not split. The ones that came out of the hubs I didn't split them. I already had some that were split. Good to keep that stuff around, you know. And anyway, I'm going to get this loaded, and after I get it loaded, I had a little bit of oil. They go in easy if you oil that housing. So now I got to wipe this out real clean, and then I got to try to put the bearing into it without getting grease on this up here. And then, well, this one here I don't have to worry, because this one's not worn. But the other one, I got to wash it all out good so that I can put some Loctite to it. And anyway, pretty straightforward stuff. So I'll be back in a little bit when I'm packing the bearings. Just a quick little thing, if you drive in on these races, this is a smaller one, and the smaller they get, the harder they are to pull them out. And I like to, pound on the wide end. So anyway, if you just go in like that, just between them with a thin screwdriver, they're not in there tight at all. You can just get them started and they'll come right out. And once you get them pretty well out, they should pull right out, just like so. Oh yeah, 2 races in. I just wanted to show you the best way to get that out. Just go in. The big one I never have had a problem with, and if you're afraid of that, you can always drive them in this way, but this has got a big rounded shoulder, so it doesn't go against that so good. You're better off to put this small edge against it and drive like this. But if you're afraid of getting it stuck, drive it in like that. Well, this is the wrong size for this end, and then you've got a lip there that you can go in and catch. So either way you do it, it'll work. Guess I'm not very well prepared. I need a place to set my torch here when I'm not using it. So, gonna heat some of this tin up here. That's just a piece of, I think it's 5-inch. I squatted it a little bit so it would fit in. And yeah, just heat stuff up a little bit, see what we can do. Beautiful. A little bit down there, do it cold. Perfect. Gonna do the same to the other side off camera, and we'll have those all straightened out. Well, finally getting ready to pack some bearings. And there are 1,000 ways to pack a bearing, but the best way is to put it, well, you can use a glove on your hand if you want, but I never have. And basically every time you roll that back, you just hook a little more and compress it and roll it. And you watch here, you'll see that grease come right up through the top of them rolls here in a minute. You can just see them starting to come. And that tells you that that bearing, from the bottom to the top, in between the bearings, is full right there. So then you rotate it just a skosh, and you keep on going. And you go until every one of those is packed up through there. Now, a lot of guys just roll it on the outside. Could do it, but I'm not a fan of that. You can see there's already grease on the top because it's in this hand, but you just keep going until it starts to push it. Then you know it's coming up through. See how it's starting to push up through? Even if you get grease, I'm spilling it, but even if you get grease on the top from your other hand, you can still tell if you're packed or not. And you just go right along. Pretty simple. Yeah, I think I'm all the way around it. Yeah, it's coming it up through. So that's all there is to it. That Denny is packed. No need to put some in the race there. It's just gonna, it's already in the bearing. Okay, I've had these things setting in oil for a long time. They're completely saturated. So, rough place in the felt there. Should be all right. That is how the back seal is. Simple as that. Wanted to just say a little something quick about these split nuts. So these nuts, when they go on, they're fairly loose. And if this is the spindle, this is your nut. When that nut is being, loaded up with a bearing behind it, you'll have your load on that back side, and there'll be clearance here. Loaded, clearance, and so on. Now when you go and clamp these up, that will come together, and that will split the difference here. So if you've got 10 thousandths clearance here, when you tighten that nut, you're moving this nut in 5 thousandths just by tightening it. So you got to keep that in mind when you're adjusting your bearings. Now, my theory on a John Deere is you're better off to have them a little snug, because they're slow speed, than you are to have them loose. Because anytime they're loose, they're banging, even if it's only a few thousandths. You start out with a few, and all of a sudden you end up with 5, then you end up with 10. These here hadn't been adjusted, Christ, for 20 years. I just kept pumping grease to the inside. And, well, I don't even know if they ever actually had them off. I really don't know. I don't ever recall taking them off. Because like I say, when I rebuilt this tractor, I pulled the whole nose off. I was after the mechanical part of it that drives it. Because all the seals were leaking back in, that would have been 94 when I got it home. July 4th of 94, I got this. I landed in Maine with this. And, yeah. So, anyway, that's another whole story. But, so, anyway, just keep that in mind, how that will, when you clamp it, it moves towards the bearings, which tightens it even more. So, little thing to keep in mind. As you can see, there was a little change of plans. I actually used serial number tags, pins rather, to hold that. Because the main thing is to keep it from turning. It won't come out anyway because of the way the felt's right against the back. So anyway, that's a more secure setup. And I happen to have the pins, so. Okay, I got the tire bolted on good and tight. Yeah, it's pretty tight right there. Yeah. That's going to be too tight. By the time you put the jam nut up, we got to back off one notch. So, okay. Now we'll tighten this up with that cotter pin in there. We'll see what it feels like, because this is going to tighten it a little bit. That's about tight. Of course, you got them felt seals, got quite a bit of drag. I think I'm going to call it good. I like it. So, drive that in just a skosh more. As long as that's right in flat, you can always check it by just putting this up without a gasket, and it misses. So, sometimes on some tractors you have to cut this tab off if it rubs, but this one here seems to have plenty of clearance. Yeah, I always lay a ratchet down somewheres, and then I'm always looking for it right here under my seat. Oh yeah. This old girl's got the front end done. Not bad. Nothing's loose. We'll jack it up and set it down. See how she steers. Well, she's got her wheels back on. All the hubs are tight. And I even put a coat of paint on it with a spray bomb. I didn't do down here because I didn't have all the oil cleaned off in it, but you know, the stuff up front that was getting rusty. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I do have one more problem. Well, two problems. Number one, I got water in the oil. I can actually bring this out and put a little forward dry down there to catch what drools out. But yeah, that's it. It's got a lot of suspended water in it. At over $100 a bucket for good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and heat it up. Dry the water out of it. Got to do it slow, you know, so that you don't catch it on fire because, you know, it's flammable, but should be able to heat it up to about 250 degrees without it evaporating too much, and it should release the water out of it. We'll see if it does or not. That'll be another video. And also, I get this one brake that doesn't release. It's not seized up or nothing. I just think the spring is broke. I'm not sure. This one here works perfect. So, anyway, a little bit of brake work. But those are going to be for other times. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. It's got plenty long, and if you're still here, I appreciate you sticking around. So, anyway, keep safe, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.